Let's do this. Let's play here. Hello, people. It's nighttime. Sorry for the delay. Hope another beautiful day. Yup. Hope your five senses work. Hope your health and strength is good. What? What's up, gamers? It's Friday. Alright, let's get down to business here. Okay, Microsoft. You know you had a nice little momentum going, right? You got a nice little thing going. You bought all these you got all these studios that are making games. They come out when they come out. I'm not worried about it. Okay. You got Game Pass up and running. Okay, alright. Okay. You got your little court issue that you're dealing with the Federal Trade Commission because they didn't give you your due process. They rushed to judgment. Okay, I get it. But you got your shareholders, you got the employees, you got the public, and then you got 4 countries behind you supporting you in this purchase of Activision Blizzard. Okay, fine, you're doing good. Okay, we know that Starfield can't replace Halo because Halo is the flagship title, is the mascot for Xbox. If you're going to make an Xbox console, Halo has to be there. We know that Starfield is another arsenal that you have besides Halo. Okay? When people say you don't have games, like, okay, we got Halo, Starfield, Gears, Sea of Thieves, we get it. You're doing good. What are you doing messing up our 343 and laying off 10,000 employees? Okay, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. You own like what? You control like what? I would say what? Well, I seen a comment yesterday on The Guardian. Somebody said Microsoft controls 98% of the software market. But then when I look again, it says 80%. Okay, you got a big market share in the software market, right? And you're laying off 10,000 employees? Really? So, when it comes to Halo now, you're dismantling what? 343? And now you're saying that you don't see the single player mode in Halo as valuable? You need to rethink your strategy on that one. Most people that play Halo, they love the story mode. They love going through it. The multiplayer is fun because you get to play different people all over the world. You know, they bring different skill sets to the table. Online works like this. You might be the best for like 15 minutes. The next 15 minutes, somebody else is better than you. That's how competitive it gets online. So you don't see single player as financially valuable. You need to think again. There are people that play Halo just for the story mode. They'll deal with the multiplayer later, but they love the story. If you remove that from Halo, you're opening a can of worms. And if you don't have Halo with your next generation Xbox when you launch it, I'm not talking about the Series X and S. I'm talking about the Xbox after the Series X and S. If you don't have Halo beside it, you're going to have a problem. Listen to this. Let's see here. What do we got? Listen to this. Saw this article on Gamers Rant. It says this. 343 is reportedly done leading development on new Halo games. Why, Microsoft? Why? You got a nice little momentum going right now. Why ruin it? Anyway, says here, reports claim that 343 Industries is being removed from active development on the Halo franchise and will instead act as support. Like I told you before, Starfield can't replace Halo. Halo is the mascot. When everybody buys Xbox, the first game that comes to their mind is what? Halo. If you release a brand new Xbox, Halo has to be there. Anyway, says here, 343 Industries reportedly being removed from active development of the Halo franchise as a part of the ongoing layoff across Microsoft. Halo Infinite, despite initial success, has not seen long-term support from Halo fans. The Xbox Game Studio was hoping for. Not only did live service support at launch feel thin and aggressively monetized, but updates to Halo Infinite since haven't proven a compelling reason to give it a new try. Perhaps 343 Industries won't be getting another opportunity. Says here, to say that 343 Industry has failed would be an exaggeration. What 343 has had issues with is living up to the expectation set by Bungie and the Halo franchise itself. 343 Industries was formed in 2007 after the announcement that Halo developer Bungie would be splitting from Microsoft. In 2012, 343 released its first main new series release, Halo 4, Halo 5 Guardians, followed in 2015, and Halo Infinite in 2021. All these games were criticized as not capturing the excellence of Bungie's work, but none were outright seen as poor work. Yeah, every time you come out with a new Halo game, it's a challenge, you know. It's really, when you build a new chapter onto a game, it's really challenging to maintain that consistency, you know, that you expect, that you experienced probably in the first game or the second game, you know. And when you come out with a third one, you know, it's like it's a challenge. But anyway, says here, when it comes to Halo, however, just good enough isn't enough. It seems a report from historical reliable Halo leaker Bathrobe Spartan claimed that Microsoft's recent mass layoffs are a part of a major shift at 343 Industries. 343 no longer seeing single-player content as financially viable, and already shopping multiplayer content efforts to partner studios, will no longer serve as the primary developer for Halo. Instead, 343 will serve as an overseer for the franchise, which with projects handed off to third-party partners to create. Oh, basically, it's like, okay, it would be like, okay, you're like a manager, but you're like the owner, and you got like 4 stores, say 4 stores or whatever, and every time you go around, you're checking on the stores to see what they're doing. That's the role of 343 now. But anyway, says here, Bathrobe Spartan say that between layoff, not renewing external contracts, and shifting developers to other parts of Microsoft, 343 Industries losing around a third of its staff. The financial need of the studios are taking priority, while the effort to expand Halo narrative through internal developments are being wounded down. Says here, as for what this means for Halo Infinite, Bathrobe Spartan says no plans have changed for continued live service support of the game. Season 2 and future content for Halo Infinite continues to be worked on by partners including Skybox Lab, Spirasoft, and certain Affinity. It's repeated that continued support for Halo Infinite and Master Chief Collection are 2 areas Microsoft and 343 are happy to continue. It says here, Halo franchise future is much less clear. In theory, these changes will allow for the Halo franchise to experiment with more numerous smaller scale projects of different genre. It may not be just a shooter franchise going forward. However, That also depends on which partners are interested in Halo and what their capabilities are. It's all up in the air. It's a terrible situation for the team at 343 Industries. A decision reportedly made due to finances and seemingly the end of the studio single player efforts. And then that's the end of that. Wow. I remember Phil Spencer said that they regret letting go of Bungie. But even though Bungie made Halos for the Xbox system, the ones that 343 made, they were pretty good, you know. And like I said, it's a challenge when you got to keep a series going. You're trying to figure out which direction you're going in. But one thing you can't do in Halo is remove the single player experience. A lot of people that played Halo love the single player experience. They want to go through the story, go through the journey, and see where the story takes them. You remove that from Halo, and you're opening a can of worms. You know, you're going to hear from these Halo fans. Okay, you can't just make Halo just a multiplayer only. You have to have the story in it, and it's good to have in video games. It's good to it's good to have multiplayer, but you always got to have a story. You know, a game got to have a story. You know, it has to. You know, because that way you can find out how this game came about. It can't just be multiplayer alone and then that's it. You got to have this. You got to have the single player experience, and you got to have the story, but you also got to have the multiplayer. You know, and the multiplayer is for the the fans of the game who enjoy it and want to play against each other. You know, in a little friendly competition. So you got to have the story. You know, but to say that single player experience is no longer financially valuable, that would be the death of Halo in a nutshell, if you take the story out. And this is a big, in my opinion, I think this is a big mistake on Microsoft's part. You know, you had so much momentum going. You know, you acquired all these studios. That's one, and you had games that you had in development. Every gamer that's been playing video games for years know how hard it is to make, just because we don't work in the gaming industry, but we play video games a lot. We got an idea and a sense of how challenging it is to make it a new chapter of a game. It's very challenging, and to maintain that consistency. But every game that you make, it's got to have a story. You know, you got to have that single player experience. The multiplayer part is it's like the icing on the cake. But the single player part now is the story. Is the the single player part is the cake. The multiplayer is just the icing. So you got to have that single player experience in Halo. You know, I mean, sure it's good to go online and play against all kind of people across the world, man. All kinds, with their different levels and different skill set. But it's good to have that story, you know, because the story makes the game complete. If you just have a game and it just have story, it doesn't have a story in it, to me the game has no value. You know, it's just like, okay, look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a two-headed monster, right? And two-headed monster meaning that you got Call of Duty with the single player and the multiplayer, but now you add Warzone, which is the battle royale. Call of Duty has a story in it. Okay. You need, a lot of Call of Duty fans, they love the story within Call of Duty. But the Warzone now in the multiplayer, those are the icing. That's just the icing on the cake. So you got to have a story within the game, man. And to take that out of Halo, you're just basically the Halo is suffering like a slow death, you know, a slow death. And Microsoft is making some mistakes here. They have a momentum going, and they need to keep it going. You know, you got to keep Halo around. I mean, look at Nintendo. Every time Nintendo comes out with a console, Mario is there. You know, Mario is there. Look at Sony. Every time they come out with PlayStation, they got to have God of War there, okay? Because of the fan base. So when it comes to Halo now, you got to keep that story and that multiplayer intact, man. You can't just say, oh, the single player part of Halo is not financially valuable. That's false. That single player, that's like 90% of the game right there. The multiplayer is just the icing. So Microsoft right now, they need to rethink this before they going forward. But like I said before, I'm gonna say it again. If they make another on their next generation of Xbox, when they make it, when they make it, their entire the Halo fan base is gonna look at them and ask them one question: where is Halo? That's the first thing coming out their mouth. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Or Dark Side. Okay. Peace.